You have a right to live based on your, what makes you so greater than they? These are the cycles of life. These are the occurrences that are taking place. So we're talking about the circumcision. Now in that movie, going back to the fourth kind, in the movie The Fourth Kind, it explained about these anathemas. Now one of the things that was a mistake there, because they talked about the language, there was a certain language that was being used. Right? And they said, okay, well, this was the Akkadian language, and this was the oldest language known to mankind. They don't want to give Nawapians credit. They don't want to give the black man. See, if I say Nawapians, I'm trying to convey a point. But if I say the black man, that's going to be more effective, because James Brown in the 60s said loud and black and proud. So you recognize yourself as a black man, you recognize yourself as an African American, but that's somebody else labeling you. That's not you labeling yourself. If you was to label yourself, you would say, okay, I'm a Nawapian. Meaning that if we would be the root seed and everybody came from us, and there's a sister who wrote a book, and the title of the book is They Lived Before Adam and Eve. And I'm sorry I can't recall her name. It's very difficult to pronounce. She's out of Ghana. Right? Go online, search it up. They came before Adam and Eve. But in that book, what she was explaining is 3 degrees. That's right. We've mastered 1, 2, and 3. That's right. We've traveled 3, 5, and 7. We hold the key that's between 1 and 9. That's right. We give them what we choose. We secrete the information. We call it a secret. If we have it, we control who gets it. But the point of time that we're on the revolutionary cycle that the earth is planted, that these are secrets that must be kept sacred, but they must be made known in this day and time. And the biggest one is that the woman is God. Is that the woman is God. That's right. I can't get a cheer from the females? Oh, okay. All right. You ready? Okay. All right. Okay. They about to pull the stick and stick me up here. But we give this for free, FREE, every Sunday. Here, the question and answer. We allow. I should have the master teacher make sure that when we do lectures, when we speak, that we should allow ourselves to be questioned. Right? And that's only right, because I was able to control things on your mind when somebody just speaks and you don't allow them to question, or the power words and things like that. There's certain words that I use that are power words that are going to emphasize the points that I'm making. And you should be made aware, or you should allow me to put myself on the spot by the scrutiny of your questions.
Well, take 3 questions. Take 3 questions.
We'll take the first one.
First one, sister.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So what language is the Nawapian word and sound coming from?
What language?
Yes.
The language in itself would be Nawapic. That's the name of the language. But the sound of it is in tones, right? That emanates the vibration and the pulsation from who? Watch this. They take it in Arabic. They say, okay, from where the Quran was built, from Huwa Allahu, Alabi, La ilaha illallah. They'll translate that in English to say, He is Allah. So Huwa, they combine that from Huwa and Here. Huwa they make male, and Here they make female. Prior to that, because Arabic was not the original language, Hebrew and Arabic are dialects of the same language, right? When it says tones, when you say tweet, tweet would be 2. Right? When it says nep tweet, that means 2 rulers, right? Nep tweet, that's 2 pins. So when we're talking about Hua, that's the male. They translate that to make the male, and they say Allah becomes the male, when that is out of natural nature. Watch again. God's a male who created the first male, or made the first male, right? And out of the rib came the female. And then everybody else, he's and she's, comes from she's. Let me say it again. There has to be an irreality. But we don't have a lot of time because they're about to pull the plug on me right here. Right? Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, brother, one quick question. You talked about the Vortex opening December 21st, 2012, I think you said. Can you tell us what time?
Okay, that's not the vortex opening, that's the alignment.
Oh, that's the alignment.
Okay, that's the alignment. And that would be at 3 a.m. at December the 21st, which would be the winter solstice. Right? So the summer solstice is when we should be calculating our years. Right, in the summertime.
Hold on, sir. One more question.
Yeah, you guys speak about we're not supposed to eat, to be a vegetarian. So then,
No, I didn't say that. I said even you vegetarians that rip plants. Plants are living entities that deserve the right to exist. They have a purpose the same way that you have a purpose.
that we know.
And so for the same purpose that you would like to say, okay, I shouldn't be eaten by these other beings. And plants have the same right to say the same thing.
Okay.
That's the point I was making.
Okay.
But in actuality, we should be eating foods out the waters. The planet is predominantly water.
Okay.
75% water. We should be eating things out of the water, not on the land.
Okay.
You eat something on land, even if it grows out of the land, eventually it's going to kill you. But I'm about to get the plug turned on me. Thank you for having me.
Give a round of applause. Give my brother a round of applause. Every Sunday we're out here doing the free classes on the same thing teaching and much more. Anything with Dr. Malachi. Yo, we grew up with this. I know him for years, over 20 years. Enough respect to him, man. Give another round of applause. Come on, put your hands together. Stop playing. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Here at the Bushwick store in New York, the CPAT #1. Today we're having AEO class. But before we get started, I would like to introduce everyone in the internet world to our members here at the Brooklyn CPAT. I'll just ask a few questions to people individually so they can share with you, why they're here today and what brought them to right knowledge. We have all right, what is it that brought you here to, class today as well as your introduction to right knowledge?
I think this is the place to be for me right about now, today. All right, and what brought me into the doctrine years ago. I mean, like I heard of this guy's answering everybody questions. Anybody had any type of questions, and I had to see for myself. I came out here and basically it was a done deal for me. It was like, yo, that's it. Because I went through the, I was a Christian, and also I was on the, I was in the street, little hoodlum, whatever, and basically he brought me up out of that. So what right now is done for me, it made me basically straighten myself out and look at the world from another point of view.
Yeah, that's good. Testimony of a brother sharing what right now has done for him, as well as I'm quite sure many people watching excuse me, this video can relate. Another sister, go to class, she always comes, attends religiously, if we weren't religious. If you mind sharing, state your name as well as
My name is Timothy Atsuya, and I've been reading Dr. Yo's book since 1988. 1987, sorry, and 88. And what brings me here today is that I'm a member of the Ancient Egyptian Order AEO, which is held today at Brooklyn Store in the CPAT #1. And I came into this doctrine. One day I was listening to WLIB. It's a very long story, but I'm shortening it. And I heard Dr. Ben and Dr. C. Henry Clark talking about Egyptology, the ancient Egyptian making man on a potter's wheel and whatnot. And they were saying a whole lot of things. And then I just said to myself, oh my God, what if everything that I ever thought was wrong, please tell me the truth. And that very day, my mate brought a brother in long white robe with bags on his shoulder, incense in one hand, and he said, I want you to teach my wife, and I could buy all the books I want. And I started reading the book, and the first book I read was Who Was Jesus' Father? And that just kind of blew me out of the water. And then I read St. Paul, Disciple, Deceiver, and that was like, that's it. And I'm like, I was hooked. And so I'm here, and what it has done for me, it has freed my mind. And every time I pass a church, I am so happy that I come to know about Dr. York, because then I'm not going to go to hell because I'm not in a church. Because I left the church a long time ago, but then there was always this thing in the back of my mind, maybe I should go back, But then every time I go to church, I said, well, thank